You have the Azure key vaults shown in the following table. So you can see the table. It has got 5 key vaults, and these key vaults are deployed in different regions. So key vault 1 is in West US, key vault 2 is in West US as well, key vault 3 is in East US, key vault 4 is in West US, key vault 5 is in East US. And also you can see the column of Azure subscription name. These particular key vaults also exist in different subscriptions. You have an Azure Active Directory, Azure AD tenant named contoso.com. You need to configure the diagnostic settings for contoso.com. The solution must meet the following requirements: retain logs for 2 years, query logs by using the Custo query language, minimize administrative effort. What should you store? Where should you store the logs? Is your company has an Azure Active Directory tenant named contoso.com. You plan to create several security alerts by using Azure Monitor. You need to prepare the Azure subscription for the alerts. What should you create first? Hello, Azure enthusiasts. Welcome back to our channel where we dive deep into the world of cloud technology. Today we have something special in store for you, an in-depth review of the AZ-500 exam part 2, focusing on Azure security. Whether you are gearing up for the exam or just looking to strengthen your Azure security knowledge, you are in the right place. I am Jackton, your guide through this exciting journey. The AZ-500 exam part 2 is a cornerstone for anyone aiming to demonstrate their expertise in security Azure environments. In this tutorial, we'll be tackling a series of carefully curated review questions that cover key topics tested in the exam. But here's the twist that you're going to encounter. We won't just be giving you the answers. Instead, we will break down each question, explore the underlying concepts, and provide a practical insight. There'll be a lab simulation that go beyond the exam. It's not just about passing the test, as we believe so. It's about truly understanding Azure security to excel in real-world scenarios. Before we jump into the questions, let's quickly highlight the importance of mastering Azure security. As organizations increasingly embrace the cloud, the need for robust security measures becomes paramount. The AZ-500 exams equips you with the skills to design and implement secure solutions within the Azure platform, making you an invaluable asset to any cloud-centric team. So whether you are an aspiring Azure professional or a seasoned cloud architect looking to stay ahead of the game, join us on this comprehensive journey. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's embark on deep dive in the world of Azure security with our AZ-500 exam review questions, part 2. First and foremost, who are we? We are 591 Lab, and our site is 591lab.com, pronounced as 591 Lab. 591 Lab is the top IT training and certification exam brand in China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Singapore. Our mission at 591 Lab is to provide our clients with exceptional exam preparation experience for certifications in Cisco, Huawei, Aruba, Juniper, Microsoft, and Azure certification tracks. So without further ado, let's jump into the world of AZ-500 and explore the ins and outs of Azure Security Administration. Let's get started with the agenda first of all. The agenda is going to revolve about the part 2 of the review questions that we are going to handle. And those particular review questions will be rolled around these particular topics. 1, secure compute, storage, and databases, which will give you 20-25% of the marks within the AZ-500 exam. And then the second one is managed security operations, that will give you 25-30% of the marks within the AZ-500 exam. So let's begin with the first question. You have the Azure key vaults shown in the following table. So you can see the table. It has got 5 key vaults, and these key vaults are deployed in different regions. So Key Vault 1 is in West US, Key Vault 2 is in West US as well, Key Vault 3 is in East US, Key Vault 4 is in West US, Key Vault 5 is in East US. And also you can see the column of Azure subscription name. These particular Key Vaults also exist in different subscriptions. Key Vault 1, so the question proceeds. Key Vault 1, which is in US and it's subscription 1, stores a secret named Secret 1 and the key for a managed storage account named Key 1. You back up Secret 1 and Key 1. Now the question comes, to which Key Vaults can you restore each backup? So you're required to select the appropriate option in the answer area as provided herein. So before we answer the question, let's first of all try to understand what Azure Key Vault is. So we are going to discuss what is Azure Key Vault, and then 2, how can you use Azure Key Vault, and 3, how do you implement Azure Key Vault. On the how of implementing Azure Key Vault, we are going to discuss on how to implement it on the Azure or from the Azure portal perspective. So Azure Key Vault provides a secure cryptic storage for us. So in essence, Azure Key Vault is a cloud service provided by Microsoft Azure that allows you to securely store, manage sensitive information such as secrets, encryption keys, and certificates. It provides a centralized and secure way to protect and manage cryptographic keys and secrets used by cloud applications and services. So I'll be going to my whiteboard so that I get to explain. So now whiteboard we have our Key Vault. This is our Key Vault. Then we have our application, and then we have our Azure AD. So as we've seen, Key Vault, our Azure Key Vault gets to store keys, secrets, and certificates. So it's a single repository where you get to keep all these, the keys, the secrets, and the certificates that can be used by various applications. So let's say these applications need to retrieve a key. For example, you don't want to implement a key, or within your API, you don't want to install or deploy the API within the API itself. So you can have the secret or the service key of the API or the application stored on the Azure Key Vault. So these will reference, it will collect the key from the Azure Key Vault. So it's vice versa. And then the Azure AD here is where it supports the identity component of the Azure Key Vault, the identity component. So the Key Vault interacts directly to the Azure AD because that's where you are providing the authorization. And then this application, its identity provider is this Azure Active Directory. So as mentioned, the key components of the Azure Key Vault is the keys, secrets, and the certificates. So what are the secrets? Let's begin the secrets. So Azure Key Vault allows you to securely store and manage sensitive information referred to as the secrets. Secrets are the sensitive information in this case. This could include connection strings, passwords, and other confidential data. So how about keys? So keys are cryptographic in manner. They're used by cloud applications and services. It supports various key types, including RSA keys, ECC keys, and symmetric keys. How about certificates? Certificates, these are in form of a digital certificate. So Azure Key Vault helps you to manage these digital certificates, particularly useful for securing communication through HTTPS and other secure protocols. So again, within Azure Key Vault, it is in two types. So we have the standard Key Vault, standard, and then we have the premium Key Vault. So the standard Key Vault, the user only gets to store the keys, secrets, and the certificates. It's basically offering that basic service of storing these particular components. It is dedicated to your tenant, and again, it is being managed solely by Microsoft. So the security aspect of that particular Key Vault is solely being managed by Microsoft for you. But again, if at all you want to go the premium way, the premium component is being offered to you through what we call the Azure Managed HSM. That is the hardware security model. The hardware security model supports provide dedicated HCM appliances for your cryptographic keys. This offers additional security for key management. So you can have that the solid hard drive, the physical hard drive that you can get to store those particular keys. So this particular component, it provides you that hardware. You are being provided the hardware where you can get to store those particular keys. So the HSM is being provided under the premium component of the Key Vault. But more often, people usually provision the standard Key Vault because it get to offer you the very basic services that you might get to require. Example, storing your keys, secrets, and certificates. So the benefits that you get with Azure Key Vault is you have, in terms of security, one, you have secure storage. So Key Vault provides secure repository for sensitive information and reducing risks of exposure. You also have role-based access control. You can get to control the access, or how users get to access or application gets to access those particular Key Vaults, those particular components within the Key Vault. For example, you can control how users and application can retrieve or manage secrets, keys, and certificates. Another importance of having a Azure Key Vault, apart from the security, is the centralized management. So it is a single source of truth. Key Vault serves as a central repository for managing keys and secrets across multiple services and applications, promoting consistency and ease of management. Another aspect within that centralized management is the versioning component of it. It supports versioning of keys and secrets, allowing you to manage changes over time. Now you can have key 1, key 2, key 3. As per, you can get now to rotate these particular keys, and even the secrets, you can get to rotate them. Another component or another benefit that you have with the Azure Key Vault is the integration with Azure services. You can use Key Vault to seamlessly integrate with various Azure services, including Azure Virtual Machines, Azure App Service, Azure Functions, and more. So this integration allows these services to securely access secrets and keys without exposing them in the application code or configuration, as we had discussed before. There's also aspect of audit logging. You can audit what's going on within the Azure Key Vault, and then there's aspect of compliance. You can use Azure Key Vault as to be compliant with various industry standards and certifications, making it suitable for organizations with strict regulatory requirements, for example. So you might be asking yourself, why should you be using Azure Key Vault? Apart from those particular benefits that we've discussed about Azure Key Vault offering, one of the things is that if at all they want to access those particular keys, secrets, and certificates within the Key Vault, they need to prove the identity. And proving the identity, they need to proving their identity. This application, for it to approve its identity on the Key Vault, it will need first of all to interact with the Azure AD. After that approval is given, and then it goes ahead and fetch the data within the Azure or the secret within the Azure Key Vault. So we are going to the next step, where how then can you deploy Azure Key Vault? To deploy Azure Key Vault, we'll go to the Azure portal. But before we go to the Azure portal, let me just demonstrate how to deploy the Key Vault here. So when you're deploying an Azure Key Vault, you're going to deploy it within a region. And that region, a particular geography. So for example, a region can be East US. Another region can be West US. But these regions, East US, West US, exist in the same geography called US. US is now the geography. So meaning, if at all I have my Key Vault in East US, in subscription 1, let's say subscription 1, I can transfer. For example, I want to back up my keys on the Key Vault existing in East US. I can back up these particular keys on another subscription, which is need to be the same subscription, not a different subscription, need to be same subscription 1, but I can back it up on another region, let's say West US, but it is in the same geography. So same subscription. When I want to do a backup of the Key Vault components, let's say the secrets and even the certificates, I can only back them up on the same subscription, different region within the same geography. So let's go ahead and deploy Azure Key Vault. So I'd already created a resource group, so I'll go ahead and create Azure Key Vault. So search for Key Vault from the marketplace. Vault. So I'll choose Key Vault. So I'll choose my subscription there. I'll choose my resource group, which is under a 5.1 Lab resource group, or I can choose to create a new subscription, a new resource group. Key Vault name, I'll give my Key Vault name. I'll just name it 591 Lab Key Vault, 591 Lab Vault. Let me just say 591 Lab Vault. Okay, it's saying something. So let me say test Vault 1. Let me say 1995. Yep, that's scripted. Test Vault 995. So region, I've chosen East US. So under pricing tier, I needed to see something. Under pricing tier, as we had mentioned, the pricing tier is where you can have standard or even now premium. The premium one is what supports the HSM, hardware security module. So standard offers you the baseline capabilities where you can just store your secrets, certificates, and even the keys, and the security component is being managed entirely by Microsoft. But HSM, with HSM, you're provided with the hardware component, what you need, but predominantly we usually go with the standard. And then lastly here, you'll see on the days of retention, by default it's usually 90 days. That is for the soft delete. In case something happens with the Key Vault, it will be retained for 90 days. So patch protection means the components within your Azure Key Vault. For example, if I say disable patch protection, so meaning if at all this Key Vault, the components inside that particular Key Vault is deleted, if I've made it disabled, that means I can't be able to retrieve those particular components whenever the retention period is completed. So let's say, meaning that if at all I go with enable patch protection, even if I delete those particular secrets certificates within the key vault before my retention period elapsed, that means I cannot be able to delete those particular components, and I can even, if at all they're deleted, I can still get them back. So I go next. So here is the permission level. Azure role-based access control, that the one we were talking about at back, when how you want to give access to those particular components or secrets, keys, and certificates within your Azure Key Vault. Can also choose to, for example, next, under networking. Now this is where, do I want to enable public access to my Key Vault, or do I want to pin it down to a selected networks, for example? So I can even choose to only do certain private endpoints which have got access to my Key Vault only. Default, usually you go with the public access, but you can trim down the security aspect of it, how your Key Vault is going to be accessed. I go next, tags. This is where you define the tags for your Azure Key Vault so that you can monitor, for example, in terms of cost or which departments have been assigned. And then I go next, review and create. It will do the validation. After the validation is complete, it will prompt me to go ahead and do the creation of our Azure Key Vault. It has already validated, so we go ahead and say create. It will proceed to create that Azure Key Vault for us. We finish creating the Key Vault. If you go to the resource, so you'll see the Key Vault here. If we go down here, the objects within that particular Key Vault that is supported, you'll see we have keys that are supported. You can go ahead and generate a key. We have secrets that we are talking about. You can go ahead and generate. We also have certificates. So this is how you get to create Azure Key Vault. And the components that are managed within an Azure Key Vault are the keys, secrets, and certificates. Okay, now let's go back to our question. So we had our Key Vault 1, which is in US and is under subscription 1, and we are asked to store the secret of the secret that exists within Key Vault 1. So for us to do the storage, as discussed, you can do the backup of those particular components within the Key Vault within the same subscription, different region, but same geography. So as you've seen here, you can see, as I've mentioned, same subscription, so subscription 1. So that means Key Vault 4 and 5, we can't do the backup there, so that disqualifies them. So we remain with Key Vault 1, 2, and 3. Now, Key Vault 1, 2, and 3 on the same subscription, so that's good. Now, let's check. It needs to be in the same region. I mean, it can be different region, but same geography. So here is West US, that's a region within US geography. West US, that's a region within US geography, and East US is also a region within the US geography. So the backup can happen on KV2, KV3, and KV1. So you can restore the secret one backup to, answers here, KV1, KV2, and KV3 only. That is the answer. So where you see KV4 and KV5, disqualifies the answer. So automatically you disqualify some of the answers here. 2, you can restore the key 1 backup to same thing, key 1, KB1, KB2, and KB3. As mentioned, a recap, you can only do a restore of the backup of the key vault component to same subscription, different region, but those particular regions need to exist within the same geography. Next question. You have an Azure Active Directory, Azure AD tenant named contoso.com. You need to configure the diagnostic settings for contoso.com. The solution must meet the following requirements. Retain logs for 2 years. Query logs by using the Custo query language. Minimize administrative effort. What should you store? Where should you store the logs? A. Azure Event Hub. B. Azure Log Analytic Workspace. C. Azure Storage Account. Before we answer the question, let's get to how do we get when you get to hear about that diagnostic logs and also Custo query language. When you hear about Custo query language and where and in regards to the logs, what should come into your mind is what we call the Azure Log Analytics Workspace. For example, you might be asking yourself, what is Azure Log Analytics Workspace? So the Azure Log Analytics Workspace is a service within Azure Monitor that provides a centralized repository for collecting, analyzing, and visualizing log data from various sources across your Azure resources and on-premises environment. So it allows you to gain insights into the performance, health, and activity of your applications and infrastructure. So let's say within Azure, I have various resources. So I have VMs, I have storage accounts, I have app services. So these VMs, storage accounts, app services, or even any other resources do emit logs, and we want to know about those particular logs and analyze them. So these logs can be channeled to a single repository. The repository where these logs are being channeled to is what we call the Azure Log Analytics Workspace. Azure Log Analytics Workspace. So the logs from the VMs will channel to this Log Analytics Workspace storage account, the logs from the storage account as well, the logs from the app services as well will be channeled here. So after the logs have been channeled to the Log Analytics Workspace here, when they're here, they can be analyzed. Those logs can be analyzed. Again, apart from being analyzed, we can monitor the health of those particular resources, health of the resources that are admitted those particular logs, and we can also get to visualize the data as a result of analyzing those logs. We can visualize those particular logs or the log data from the various sources. So the key features that you get with the Azure Log Analytics is that you have data collection. It collects and stores log data from various sources, as we've seen, and also you can query the data. There's a query language that you can use to query the log data that inside the Log Analytics Workspace. That query language is what we should call the KQL, Custo Query Language, is what is used to query the log data that sits within the Azure Log Analytics workspace. You can again visualize the data that is there. So Log Analytics enables you to create custom dashboards and visualizations to monitor and analyze the log data effectively. And then there's also a component of alerting. After you analyze the data that is inside the log analytic workspace, you can create alerts. You can set up alerts based on specific conditions or patterns identified in the log data, allowing you to proactively respond to those particular issues. Another component is integration. So you can integrate the log analytics with other Azure services. So for example, including Azure Monitor, Azure Security Center, and Azure Automation. So you can get to integrate other components or Azure resources with log analytics. So how do you get to implement Azure Log Analytics Workspace? So to see the implementation of the Azure Log Analytics Workspace, we will go to the Microsoft, the Azure portal. So if I go back, I go to our resource group. To have Azure Log Analytics Workspace, you have to create the workspace itself. So within our subscription, I'll click on create, and then I'll select log. I'll say log analytics. Yep, here it is, log analytics workspace. I'll click on create. So I'll provide the required information to create the log analytics workspace. So I'll name it log analytics 91 lab. Up, that's accepted. The region is in East US. Proceed. The tags, I can choose the tags and then review and create. It's very straightforward to create a log analytics workspace. So let's wait for the validation to complete. It's complete, so we say create. After the deployment is complete, you go to the resource. So this is our log analytic workspace. As we had mentioned, our log analytic workspace is a single repository where we can channel all the logs from various resources. So one by one, we can go and see how do we get now to configure the data sources. So first and foremost, to bring various data sources into log analytics from the on-premises, we can use what we call the agents. We can go here, agents. You can see for Windows servers that exist on the on-premises, we can install this particular agent. So when I go ahead and download the agent here, log analytic agent instruction, you can see it will tell you download the agent. If I proceed to download the agent, after logging in, I copy the primary key and then go back to my on-premises server, install the agent and provide the key here. I'll be able to see the data being channeled from the on-premises server to my log analytics workspace here. So this is how you connect or configure the on-premises data source as a data source for your log analytics workspace by deploying these particular agents on the on-premises server. So the agents are available for both Windows servers and also Linux servers. And also Linux server, it provides you on how to proceed and install, download and install that particular agent. And again, you can also link the data sources from Azure storage account. So I can proceed, like for example here, link storage account. In this regard, I can say I want to only collect, for example, custom logs and IIS logs. So if I click on that, and then I'll be able to proceed and select a storage account. So for example, if I have a storage account within this resource group, I'll be able to link it here. So I can check on how I'm using the log analytics in terms of usage, how much data is here. So basically, in terms of usage, remember the log analytics workspace is where the data is being retained. So you are being charged for the data that you retain inside the log analytics workspace. The log analytics workspace is also being used, can also be used with Azure Sentinel. For example, Azure Sentinel get to retain the data, all the logs when they are channeled from the Azure Sentinel, they are retained within the log analytics workspace, and you are charged for the data component that you get to retain. So this is where the usage and estimated costs come in. So you can see analog analytics ingestion for example, the price points is based on the per GB of data ingested, for example. So that is log analytics in a nutshell. If we go back now to our question, so you need to retain logs for 2 years. We've seen log analytics workspace can use to retain logs. You want to query the logs by using KQL. We've seen that. You need to, if you want to query the data, using KQL, you can query the data that exists in the log analytics workspace. And also to minimize administrative effort, you're seeing Azure log analytics workspace comes in. So our answer here, of course, automatically comes to choice B, Azure log analytics workspace. So Azure Event Hub, it's not the answer, because Azure Event Hub can be a source of the logs where you channel the logs and then make the logs coming from the Event Hub to channel them back to the log analytics workspace. As we've seen also, storage account, you can channel logs from the storage that have been stored on the storage account to the log analytics workspace for further analysis. So last question, which is a bonus, is your company has an Azure Active Directory tenant named contoso.com. You plan to create several security alerts by using Azure Monitor. You need to prepare the Azure subscription for the alerts. What should you create first? So in the comment section, please proceed to provide the answer. We've discussed about this, and also we will review those particular answers in the comment section. Thank you for listening. The answer to this question 3 is Azure Log Analytics Workspace. I want to thank you all for attending today's class at 591 Lab. We hope you find the material informative and helpful. Remember, practice is critical to mastering any new skill. So review the course content and keep practicing with 591 Lab help and support. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact us. We appreciate your participation and look forward to seeing you in our future classes. Have a great day.